Okay. Well, lots to smile about for Indian cricket fans in this session. 95 runs, 4 wickets lost, but it's 422. They have crossed 400.
Yes.
So you're already seeing that the pitch has been simply stunning. If you look at it, extra bounce, some balls are keeping low. So it is not going to be easy, the batting, as the days progress here. So what happened? In the first 3 balls of the match, we saw Steve Smith get to a century. Travis Head went past 150.
Yeah.
But Mohammad Siraj, full credit to him for bowling a very, very hostile spell.
Yeah.
The short ball worked brilliantly, and that's how Travis Head got strangled down the leg side. Then Green played a very bad shot. Shardul Thakur, as always, delivering in the crucial moments. Got Steve Smith bowled. And the roar that went up here summed up how big an impact Steve Smith truly is.
Yeah, but I just want to say one thing. How are we feeling now about picking just one spinner and 4 pacers? I think we're feeling a little better about that decision. No?
No, there'll always be a debate until day 5. Unless we don't know what is the result of this match, there will always be a debate as to whether you play 2 spinners or 3 spinners. And Nikhil is live. He's joined us. Hi, Nikhil. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. I think the more important question is, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Lovely. Lovely that you can hear me. I can hear you very well. It wasn't really clear at the start of days 2 play when I was joining you live from the Oval. Again, it's bright and sunny.
Yep.
It's now actually getting hot because even the cold winds have stopped, which we saw in the morning. Feels like now an Indian summer's day. But overall, I think what our first session we've had. I heard Siddharth was being very negative in the morning. That's the complaint that everyone had of him. I don't blame him. That's where India were. It was tough to see a lot of optimism. There was that little ray of hope that you thought that Indian bowlers would do well. But, bang on to the plan. If you look at that session, 95 runs for 4 wickets.
Yes.
That would be India's session for me. 95 runs, 4 wickets, India's session clearly for me. And you've got the all-important wicket of Steve Smith. I think, he's that batsman. I mentioned to you at the start that looked like he was readying himself for a big one. Doing that shadow batting, visualization, whatever you call it, and seemed like he was in for a big one. I think a lazy shot he played and then got out. The good thing I felt that the Indian bowlers came in with a plan, and that was heartening to see. So they clearly had a plan of bowling short pitch to head. They continue to do that, and targeting his body, got that wicket there. Kind of David Warner like dismissal. Only Warner was trying to play a pull. In this case, he was trying to fend it off. That's the only difference. But down the leg side, they got him. And I thought Siraj was trying to target the body. So, bowling short pitch, but also targeting the body. That was the plan against Carey. It seems to have worked. Few things that I've noticed. One, I don't know, and maybe, we'll discuss about that going forward. One, I thought that, yes, the Indian bowlers did come in with a plan, but I thought that they overdid the short ball. I don't know what you guys make of it, but I think on some occasions I felt they overdid the short ball. The second criticism I'd have for the Indian bowlers, they've leaked a lot of extras. I think 33, 34 in last count. And in one session of a test match, to leak about 34 runs extra is not ideal. In the larger scheme of things, it might look small because you're looking at 400 plus. But in a session to leak 34 extras, not ideal from the Indian bowler. So, those are the things you notice, but of course, much better performance. And it seems like as if they've evenly divided their wickets. Yesterday, between Shardul, Siraj and Shami, 1 each. And today also they've decided 1 each. And of course, that other one was a run out. So 2 wickets apiece seems like, nicely paced out in between these 3 bowlers. That one run out, a lot of jokes were being cracked about an impact sub, bring on someone like an Ashwin now. That's not possible, but at least the sub on the field did the job in Akshar Patel. So all in all, I think India would be very happy. We were in a situation in this test match where at this session, I think we discussed that at this session, maybe only 1 wicket had fallen. Then India would have found it very tough to make a comeback in this game. In fact, I'll tell you what, when I was walking in, I met the doorman at the press box, and he's a big cricket buff, and we discuss cricket every day, every session. And he said, hey, not looking good, 550 Australia are going to get by tea time, and then declare and then put India in, and this test match done in 4 days. That was the kind of sentiment, the general sentiment. He's an India fan, by the way. But look at where things stand right now. 400 odd for 7 down. For all you know, less than 450 they can get Australia out. The Australian tail, which used to wag a lot, if you remember in the past, hasn't been doing that. So I think there is a case of you can have a lot of optimism. I don't know, what happens from here on, but here's an interesting stat. I don't know how many of you noticed it. Here's an interesting stat. Since 2002, there have been few occasions where Australia have got more than 400 versus India in the first inning, batting first. And here's the interesting stat. They've had, in those occasions where they've got 400 runs, Australia have won 4, there have been 5 draws, and they've lost 4 also, despite the fact that they've got 400 plus in the first inning. So I think that's a good omen. It just tells you that India likes certain situations, and if they get about 450, Australia, game is on. So all in all, if the first day was telling us that the test match may be heading one way, first session of day 2 has told you it's in the balance. So yeah.
I mean, yes, India came in with a plan. And if you look at Travis Head, the way how he was dismissed, that short ball ploy, when he was reaching the 90s, they did try it. But 163 runs too late. They didn't sustain the short ball ploy against Travis Head. Rohit Sharma was found wanting with his captaincy with no short leg. So, the criticism is there also in that. Then, if you have to look at it, again, those extras. Let us not forget that Australia have reached 400 plus. It's 422. Potentially, they can get another 25-30 more.
Easily.
If Cummins hangs in there with Carey,
Yeah.
or vice versa, if Carey hangs in with Cummins, because Boland isn't much of a bat. Lyon can frustrate, but he may not get the scoreboard ticking as quickly as he might, because short ball, Lyon will once again fall into trouble. So 450 is very much a possibility, and if you look at the oval, whenever 450 plus has been scored here, it kind of evens the match out in a way. There's no clear-cut winner. The next team will have to score much better. The main concern for me is this pitch already is showing a lot of double pace bounce. One is keeping very low, one is shooting up. If on those wickets, if you're accurate, then India are in big trouble.
Boland, especially in these sort of conditions,
Yeah.
would be key.
Cummins and Green.
But they often say, never judge a pitch after one team's batted. So we'll know how the pitch is once both teams have batted, so we'll get a better idea. Though I must say that conditions changed today, despite us talking about the plans that the Indian team came in. Yes, they came in with a plan. They've reaped benefits of that, having dismissed 4 Australian batsmen, giving away 95 runs. But I'll tell you one more thing, which India need to worry about. And I think that's an important point that Siddharth raises. One, that uneven bounce, yes, especially that ball that hit Cummins on his arm. I was actually hoping that it does some damage to that arm. Doesn't matter if it gets his wicket or not. That was his right hander.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't bowl much, gets hurt there, I think that could be much bigger than his wicket as such if it had done some sort of damage on his arm. That said, so uneven bounce, yes, we'll have to wait and watch. Also, I'll tell you why that uneven bounce. It may ease out a bit. What happens is, when a lot of sun is there and you've had some sort of grey days before that leading in, there's a lot of moisture underneath. And then when the sun is baking the pitch, that moisture keeps coming out slowly and gradually. And that's when you sometimes get that uneven bounce. So maybe that uneven bounce after some time, once that moisture is out, after some time, then really eases up, and then maybe session 2, session 3 could be easy. It happens sometimes. We'll have to still wait and watch whether that happens going forward in this or not. So that's one area of concern, yes, uneven bounce. The other thing which Indian bowlers benefited from was there was swing today. Yesterday, I didn't see the ball swing a lot. If you look at that Steve Smith dismissal, it seems like a lazy shot, but that ball is swinging as well. That's why he's a bit tentative with the bat. That's how he gets out, drags it on to his stump. So the ball is swinging. Even Umesh Yadav, who looked listless yesterday, today looked better because his ball was swinging. So I think playing the swinging delivery is a problem that most batsmen have. Yesterday there was no swing on offer. Today there was swing. Now, assuming India come out to bat today and conditions remain the same and the ball is swinging, then that may not work in India's favor because it's not always now pace and bounce that worries India. Swinging conditions, no matter who you are, it's going to trouble you. So those are two factors that India will have to consider. Of course, they'll have to bat very well, but there is also a small matter of picking up those 3 wickets, which is going to be crucial. Before we dwell into more of that, I just had one question because you're getting a different broadcast. I want to know, because Carey is still batting, I want to know those 2 close LBW shouts. I saw them here, and to my naked eye, I thought they were worth going for a DRS. At best, what would have happened? It would have been an umpire's call, so you wouldn't have lost the DRS. Maybe because the umpire hadn't given it out. At best, Carey would have continued to bat, but it wasn't a bad shout. I think on both occasions, Rohit Sharma should have gone for the DRS. They had 2 DRSs anyway, and you don't really require that for the tail-enders going forward. So, but the thing that really worried me here, we didn't get to see those replays. We saw one replay, but we didn't get to see the ball tracking, which you usually get to see in the replay. So I don't know whether that was out or not. So I want to know, what did you guys make of those 2 close shouts? Whether, I want to know from all of you whether they should have gone for the review or not. And also the other bit, were the replays shown in the broadcast in India?
The second part of your question, Nikhil, no, the replays were not shown. The first...
Why?
Because they didn't go for the review and they immediately decided to go. They decided to bowl.
But how many times has it happened that you do not go for the review, but you are shown the replay, right? And then you show the ball tracking.
They just didn't show the replay.
Why wasn't it shown?
No, it wasn't shown here, for sure. But as far as both the reviews go, I think the first one was closer than the second. Other way around. The second, yeah.
The second was closer than the first. First
one you could see was going down.
Yeah. Second one was closer.
But I don't know. I'm really surprised. I'm surprised why they didn't show it. It's not been shown here. It's not been shown there. I hope they do take our time and show it. I don't know whether it will be now shown in subsequent sessions later. बहुत बढ़िया हो आप कैसे हैं?
Yeah, I think it might be.
Manchester में, how are you? हाँ बिल्कुल बढ़िया. No problem. Photo लेंगे first. Come on, tell us. मेरा भाई दिख रहा. Oh, there. Acha, what do you quickly tell us? We are live. What did you make of the game today?
No attack. They need attack. Why not short legs? Why leakage run? Why so much? He's fielding on leg side and ball on offside. More.
But they got 4 wickets today.
No, it's already leak हो चुका है. Ball leak किया है. बैठ. अभी हमारे रन इतने लीक हो रहे हैं. यार 7 में 8 में स्टंप पर बॉल करा रहे हैं. अब फंस रहे हैं.
आप देखो अब तो 7 आउट हो गया ना. हो सकता है 450 ओवरऑल
7 आउट हो गए. ये टेस्ट है. मैं मानता हूँ 5वें दिन हम वापस आ सकते हैं. लेकिन क्या आपका दिमाग बोल रहा है कि आएंगे और दिल बोल रहा है?
बिल्कुल बोल रहा है. मैं आपको
कौन बोल रहा है? दिमाग और दिल.
देखिए दिल तो ज्यादा बोल रहे हैं क्योंकि दिमाग ये कह रहा है कि the match is even lost because yesterday तो
मैंने भाई को बहुत देर से दे रहा हूँ. बहुत देर से. लेकिन जो मैच है ना पहले दिन का बहुत बार स्कोर बोर्ड का प्रेशर जो होता है ना, प्रेशर के नीचे कभी कभार कब जाते हैं. और हमारी प्रॉब्लम है स्विंग. अभी आज बॉल पहले हिला था. अभी तो स्टार इधर से आएगा ना, ऐसे लाएगा.
यार इन ऑस्ट्रेलियन बॉलर्स के साथ प्रेशर था. ब्रिस्बेन में भी प्रेशर था ना, इंडिया जीती थी.
भाई
सिडनी में भी प्रेशर था ना, इंडिया ने ड्रॉ किया था.
अब तो इंडिया उनका दिल बोल रहा है. अगर क्रिकेटर का रियल क्रिकेटर है तो आप बताओ क्या दिख रहा है.
Yeah. How are you?
5 days there, you might.
Yeah. Yes, I was. Huh? What do you reckon?
What
Yeah.
I told you in the morning.
That India will do very well.
So that is the thing. 1 hour.
Go ahead.
Within 1 hour, Australian team will be finished. And especially I came from Edinburgh. So being in
Edinburgh, lovely place.
especially I want Rohit Sharma to make a century, same in T20 style.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'll catch you.
Yeah.
I'm live, so I'll just catch you in some time. I'm here.
This is for you. This is my restaurant.
Okay,
Please, if
I
you
will.
go to Scotland,
Edinburgh.
Scotland, Edinburgh, Highland, please visit.
I will. I love Edinburgh. See you there. See, there are some fans that I'd met earlier as well before the day's play started, and they were very optimistic about India's performance, and they're saying, see, they've done well. So they're bullish, but some are more pragmatic in their approach, like the gentleman that I began my chat with. He feels that no, from here on, it's pretty tough. Maybe he expects sort of not a collapse, but India not really notching up the kind of runs that Australia have got. And he could be right, because as I said, you never judge a pitch until both teams have batted. So, yeah, that's what's happening in the Oval.
Yeah, and the numbers that you pointed out, Nikhil, 400 plus whenever Australia have done against India since 2002. Won 4, lost 4, drawn 5, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but
Exactly.
there is only one disclaimer in that.
So that means, what is the disclaimer? That those matches happen in India mostly.
No. All those scores have happened in India and Australia, 2 different conditions. Neutral venue, I don't think we can read too much into it.
Yeah, but then again, as I said, you will have to only talk. They don't play in neutral venues.
Yep.
So how do you get a stat? Where do I get stats from India and Australia and neutral venues? They don't happen at WTC FINAL.
I mean,
stats of where the teams play. I think the stat would be unfair had it been only in one country. But if it's happened in both countries, then it's a fair stat, right?
Yeah.
It's a fair stat in fair condition. What that stat is telling you is that if Australia can get 400, more often than not, whatever the conditions, whether India or Australia, Indian batsmen will match them. I think that's the broader picture that the stat is painting. Correct? That if Australia get 400 in the first inning, then there's a 50% chance that Australia end up winning. There's a 50% chance that India end up winning, which tells you that the batting orders are quite evenly matched. So all I'm saying is that that's just an indicator that if Australian batsmen have got runs here, it's just an indicator. There's a good chance that Indian batsmen also might get runs here, or similar amount. As I said, there have been 4 losses as well, 4 wins as well. So there have been occasions where Australia got 400, they won, but similar amount of occasions where they lost. 5 draws. Who knows a draw? I don't reckon there'll be a draw in England. They're very rare.
Exactly.
So, mostly a result.
Yep. So 422, another 30-40 more. Then I think advantage is still with Australia.
I think what they'll look to do is bat as long as possible now. I think bat through this session.
Yeah.
If they can get the closer they get to 500, the better for them. Because then again, it becomes a major challenge no matter how good or bad the batting conditions are. That you have a psychological thing of, okay, the opposition team need to not only get 500, then potentially build a lead, which is...
Yeah, and with the Cummins and Carey on the crease now, I think it's quite possible that they could bat long. I mean, up until T.
Maybe T. I think that's what they'll target.
If they do that, it's going to be a danger sign for India.
Yeah, I think it's too optimistic that they may hang on till T, maybe in the next hour. Let's see, at least they'll score 30-40 runs more. Carey in the past, he may not be contributing enough runs. But yeah, he's had that 40-45 that he contributes.
Which is dangerous enough.
Exactly, here 30-40 more runs is taking you well beyond 450. And especially if he can get it at a fast clip, which to be fair, he has the habit of doing. So...
Yep, that is the major thing here. But then, if we have to look at, we saw a lot of, you look at it, Mohammad Shami maintaining that seam position, but he's not getting that much of prodigious swing. What is Siraj doing? I think the cross seam deliveries that he's bowling and hitting the pitch hard, I think that is helping. And hitting the pitch hard Who specializes more in that in the Australian team?
Cummins and Green.
And Green.
Yeah.
The height factor. Now, do you think the height factor that was raised yesterday, Nikhil, that will come into play?
What do you think of the situation? I know you
I know. Okay, I've got another one. What do you reckon? What's going to happen?
I think if we can get the next 3 wickets fairly quickly in the next maybe half an hour, maybe restrict them to about 450, 460, and then back well, you never know.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think even if we get a draw from here, I would class that as a victory after yesterday.
Yeah, but right now, both teams are thinking of win. You haven't reached that situation where Roy comes into the picture. The only thing that I don't know the Indian team would be worried about, which we discussed earlier, we saw some uneven bounce there.
Yeah, it seemed like there was. Towards the end of the session, I think Siraj was doing well. But much better spirits compared to yesterday.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Very nice to meet you.
Likewise. Thank you. Have a good day. I'm not Harshit. Is he not in the show?
He is.
I am.
Is he disappointed and not heard him at all?
In fact, Harshit was leveling accusations at me that I was being negative.
Accusations?
What have you made of the day's play?
Harshit?
I've been happy, let's say, to see whatever we've seen, and I remain optimistic because unlike Siddharth, I would like to believe that the Indian batters also have a very, very good chance of getting runs here. Yes, what does worry me a little is the fact that the pitch has misbehaved on a couple of occasions, but like you said, that also could settle down, and it does look like very good batting conditions out there. So I'll definitely back India to also bat long enough. That's not to say that I really see this headed into a draw yet. Again, can't really be said after just over a day's play. But good to see the intent that Paras Mahamre was talking about yesterday. You could see that plan being executed. So that was the one box I was looking forward to being ticked, and I'm happy to see that being the word being put out on the field as well, and the plans being executed.
Nikhil?
Is that Vikrant sir?
Yeah.
That's Vikrant sir also. Okay.
The crossover.
The crossovers happened, yes. Nikhil, we saw Mohammad Siraj. Siraj with his height exploited the conditions much better if you look at it. The pace, the bounce. With the likes of Cam Green and Pat Cummins and Mitchell Starc, do you think this situation is now tailor-made for them whenever they come out to bowl in maybe the first hour of the second session or the third session?
Maybe the third session.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's going to be a big challenge, but I think it's not a challenge that the Indian batters aren't used to. If you'd spoken to me yesterday after the day's play had gotten over, I wouldn't be very worried. But with a couple of things that I've seen today, I am not overly optimistic about the performance of the Indian batter. One, because as I said, the ball started swinging. Had the swing not happened, uneven bounce, sometimes you can find ways to survive that. Swing not happened, then you can talk about Starc as much as you like. Without the swing at that pace, I think it could have been negotiated. Cummins could have been a different kettle of fish because sometimes he can hit the lens if the ball's not swinging. That upward bounce can get him wickets. Him that I would have been worried of more. Bowler I'd like to see more of because I just saw in that India match, but the conditions there were just not conducive to his style of bowling. I was listening to Ricky Ponting the other day, and he said that if the conditions are good and they're overcast swinging conditions, then he says there's no better bowler in the Australian lineup than Boland. He even put him ahead of Starc, but if the conditions are conducive. So that'd be interesting. Cam Green as well. I think, if the ball is swinging. So I'm saying it all depends if the ball's swinging or not. See movement. You've seen Indian batters sometimes have found ways to negotiate that as well and get runs. They've done it in different conditions, whether it's in Australia, whether it's in England as well. So I mean, I have hope from the Indian batters, but it's all going to depend on the conditions. And conditions have changed so much in the last 2 days. While the weather has been pretty much the same, but the conditions have changed so much. So it pretty much depends on when India is batting and how the ball is behaving at that point.
Nikhil, if that's something you've been able to, spot by the naked eye, we were talking about in the build-up to today's play as to how, I don't know if you've seen that screen grab that's been doing the rounds on the internet about Justin Langer pointing out how the release point for the Indian bowlers is lower than usual because they're bending the knee a little more than they usually do. Do you sort of see any change today because the ball seems to be getting a little more or carry today than it was sort of getting yesterday? Anything that you've been able to gauge there as far as the Indian bowlers and the release point or that bend is concerned? Anything different today?
No, actually not. I don't know. I can't understand how you could lower your release point a fast bowler specific to a situation. I don't think that's possible because your bowling is pretty natural, and for you to change even minute things in your bowling action, you require a lot of time and practice, and it's not a switch you can turn on and turn off. I understand that release thing that you were talking about. But that was, looking at Shami. But Shami naturally actually bends his knee a lot at the time that he's delivering, in his delivery stride, at the time he's delivering the ball. So yes, his release point is a bit lower than it could have been based on his height. That said, I didn't think that Siraj's release point was any low. So if you just compare Shami and Siraj, I think they're roughly around the same height. Siraj is much higher because he's more upright when he's bowling, and that's a natural stance. So I think that's just natural. Maybe if you're comparing it to the Australian fast bowlers, all of them, stand, I think, much straighter while delivering, and maybe Shami does bend a bit. But I think that's not something that he's just done for this test match. I think that's what comes naturally to him. I think that's what's been successful for him for so long. So I think that, I don't know, I'm not too sure about that analysis that you just spoke of.
Okay, so, I mean, it's very hard to make of the session, which way this test match is going, because 4 wickets but 95 runs.
It's again, I think, very finely balanced, although I would say India would be much happier with how the session went. You got 4 wickets, including you brought them down to the last recognized batsman and carry. I think India would definitely be happier with how the session have gone. It's just a case of now, what is India's biggest chronic problem? Cleaning out a tail.
Yep.
Cleaning out a tail.
Cleaning out the tail, yes. In the past, whenever you look at it, whenever India have tried to bowl out the tail in the Sena countries, it's always failed.
That is going to be the big challenge, because now you've reached, not exactly the tail, but Cummins is definitely the last recognized bowler who can bat.
I think beyond it is the tail.
Yeah, now you're pretty much at the tail. So if you can't wipe that out quickly, if you end up giving away 70, 80 runs or even 50 runs from here, you'll not be happy with the game situation.
You're not going to be happy. See,
a quick question though, Nikhil. Nikhil, you're still there with us, right?
Yeah.
Just because we saw you speak with a few fans also who seemed very vocal. Are the crowds have we reached that point in the day where the crowds really start to come in to play, and they really they get heard in the middle as well? Are the crowds loud enough at the moment?
No, they'll be very loud. Compared to yesterday, today more people have come in. I wonder whether it's a weekend style. If it is, we're still on Thursday, but far many people have turned up today than on day one. Also, I think that's primarily because a lot of them expect India to be batting today. I think that's why a lot of them have turned up. Yesterday, they may have waited after the toss, and when they realized that India had put Australia in, maybe more of them have turned up, and they'll be very emotional, they'll be very loud since that first session. And you know what happens? Sometimes you come with a lot of energy and you want to be vocal supporting your team, but if the wicket doesn't come in the first hour and a half, then suddenly you go flat. And from there on, it's very tough to bring them back again in terms of energy levels. But the good thing is India got wickets quickly, and they continuously kept getting wickets through that 2 hours of play that we saw. So I think that's really helped, liven the crowd up. It's lifted their spirits. even more. So it'll help even if you have a period of play where the Australian batsmen get a partnership going and the crowds can go quiet. But because of the start that they've had, I think they'll have the energy to take them through the day. I think that'll be needed when the Indian batters come out. At the moment, you can see every time there's a short ball bowled, every time Mohammad Siraj, is being aggressive, he's being cheered on by the crowd. And maybe, I don't know whether that's one reason, because I mentioned that I like the short ball strategy, but I thought at some places they overdid it. Under they got carried away with the crowd cheering them on because they enjoyed it. Every time that ball just bounced from that good length area, hit Cummins there, or the ones that were going as bouncers, the crowd were loving that aggression. Maybe sometimes because you get this sort of love from the crowd, appreciation from the crowd. As a bowler, you tend to get carried away.
Yep, they do. They did get carried away by the way.
But interesting, Nikhil, you mentioned about that fast ball strategy. There was this one moment,
short ball, you mean?
The short ball when Siraj was coming into bowl and Steve Smith just walked away because there's something wrong with the side screen. Now what Siraj did
Spider cam. It turned out to be spider cam.
Spider cam. So what Siraj did was threw the ball at him in a little bit of anger there. Did you see that? What do you make of that reaction?
Yeah. It was, in fact, it happened another time. One, yes, that. And I think it happened another time also where he threw the ball. I don't know who the batsman was at the time, and the keeper collected it. At one point, I thought it might just go for 4 runs. The keeper collected it.
Was Smith
but Siraj, right? He enjoys that. He enjoys this sort of competition. He likes to rile up the batsmen. He likes to be that in-your-face sort of a bowler. I remember when he hit Labuschagne yesterday on day one, hit him on the hand. His follow through would be like halfway at the pitch, maybe 10, 12 yards. But then that follow through became 22 yards only. He went that close to the batsman because he enjoyed it. So he enjoys all that. We've seen it in the past, whether it's Test cricket, whether it's even IPL, white ball cricket, whatever. He loves that. He likes to show his aggression, and I have no problem with that. If it helps him get fired up, if it helps him bowl the way he is, then why not? I think Shami is the more calmer, quieter one who will go about his job quietly. Whereas Siraj likes to be pumped up. He's much younger, of course. He runs in with that energy, and I'm happy to see that because there was a lot of talk about moving from IPL cricket, 4-over cricket into Test match cricket. Will the bowlers have that kind of intensity or not? But at least with Siraj, I've seen talk that, I don't know whether you've seen it on social media, like Virat Kohli, the captain, if he would have been there yesterday when India were there in the field for long, he would have fired the bowlers up. There would have been aggression there. But I see that now as well. So, I think it's more about an individual player and his personality rather than who the captain is.
Okay, so we are just 2 minutes away from the start of this very important second session. So
are we going to go ahead and say that this is going to be a key session?
Nah.
Because we do that.
All sessions are
No, but then I always say the first half an hour.
That's the cliche, I forget. Yeah.
The first half an hour is always the key.
I'll take your leave.
Right.
Okay.
I said I'll take your leave. Why don't you take a few questions of
Yes, we will do that. We will do that, Nikhil. You take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, you too. Bye.
Go up a bit more, Anurag. Lots.
Don't take that one.
Of course not. Yeah. Okay, Rahul Chaturvedi is like saying, worry for me is just look at Cameron Green and David Warner, how they got out. T20 effect, one play cover drive.
I think it was Green who played the cover drive, and Warner, to be fair, got out to probably, as I said yesterday, also the worst ball that Shardul has bowled throughout this test.
Exactly.
Yeah, but Rahul, is it?
Yeah, Rahul Chaturvedi.
Rahul may not be too off with his statement because Cameron Green came in such a hurry in those very dangerous couple of runs that he ran. They were all looking very, very dangerous, and throughout till the time he got out, it looked like he was in such a hurry.
Yeah, he looked ruffled today. I think the occasion maybe want to take the attack to the opposition, but then already you had lost a couple of wickets. What are you going to do? So it's going to be a big problem. I mean, Cameron Green, one session, you may say, or one batting chance that he got, he's wasted it.
Yeah.
That's why Australia might not even get to 450.
Exactly.
Which is what GGK is like saying in one of the chats. Get Australia to under 450 and the game is in India's court.
Yeah.
Although I would like to reserve my views on that, maybe
I think
towards the end of day two.
psychological advantage would be if you can get them under 450. If they go anything above 450, best believe both of these guys are going to go hell for leather in terms of just swinging for the fences, because they're not going to care. They'll look to try and get to 500 quickly and then get the Indians out to bat. So
Yeah.
ideally you want to get them out under 450 just for the psychological thing, because even it's not like
Yeah.
450 is less runs.
Yep, Harry Tector. Wow.
Oh,
You got Harry Tector. Tail always troubles India. Example, Jameson, of course.
Exactly.
How can I forget? Kyle Jameson, in fact, won you 3 out of the 3 tests that New Zealand played against India
Hammered
with the
us.
bat.
Hammered us.
Yeah, I mean, and remember, it was his partnership that gave New Zealand a 32-run lead. So, yes, when India are facing 2 bogeys in this test match. One, tail. Second, ability to collapse. It's always happened to them in a Sena country. Always. 25 instances in the last 7 years. One session, one bad session.
And
That's
then out comes the cliche, bad half an hour.
Yeah.
Which has
20
been
minutes.
bad 15-20 minutes. But that's applicable in a T20, not in a test match.
No,
Or an ODI.
Last WTC also you told this
Exactly.
only.
Yeah.
Again, same.
Yeah,
15-20
Yes.
minutes.
It was 30 minutes of bad play that took the game away from us. We were competitive
And you accuse me of cliches.
very much.
Yeah. Our Indian cricket team is on top when it comes to cliches. Whether they not be on trophies, but on cliches they're on top. So
In fact, as Shubham rightly points out, he's saying that even though we fought back, let's not be that happy, or let's actually temper our optimism. 450 is a mountain, and then to get a lead is tough. Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
That's why I'm saying that even 450, if you can limit them under 450, now it's more a psychological advantage in the sense that, oh, they look like they were set for 550, 600,
Yeah.
but it's not like 450 is less runs.
Yep.
It is
Yeah.
no.
GGK is like saying only Rohit Sharma can save us. He already has 100 at the over.
I have more faith
You,
in the
yeah.
batting here. I mean, let's be fair. The batting, I still
You
expect a little bit. The top order at least.
See,
The conditions give me faith here. You've had a decent amount of success, let's say, in England too. Not, let's say, as much as in recent years that you have in that you've had in Australia. But still, having said that, these look very good conditions to bat. And 2 reasons there for India. First is to, of course, try to curtail Australia to as low a total as possible from this point. 2, of course, you want to be making sure that you get to bat in these conditions as well, because you don't know when you come back tomorrow
What
or
kind
day
of,
4, and at some point at day 4, India will be batting. Let's be honest about that.
they are going to bat today.
Today and day 4, because you don't know what conditions you will get on day 4. Day 4 is when you have a slight rain prediction also. So you want to be making sure that in these sunny conditions you get to bat for as many hours as possible.
Yeah.
Alright.
SSCN, can India do a comeback? Yeah, I think
of
they
course.
can. I mean, until day 5, anything is possible.
But Akash Bhardwaj makes a good point in that regard, saying that Nathan Lyon will be the man in the 4th innings. True.
Yeah.
Gary.
He'll be the tough one.
And remember,
That's where the spin contest becomes very, very, skewed, I would say, because a left arm spinner bowling into the left-handers of Australia is no contest really, but a Nathan Lyon who, bowling to a predominantly right-handed Indian batting lineup
and remember,
and being effective in the past is a much better contest.
and remember, he will get the benefit of footmarks, which Mitchell Stark will create.
Exactly.
Left armour. This is where I think somewhere the planning and all needs to be spot on. Stark is going to go over the wicket or round the wicket, whatever the angle suits for him. He'll create.
No,
those
he'll go over the wicket only.
He'll go over for a long time initially.
Exactly, because you've got only right-handers up top.
Yeah, if he can get the swing going. If he gets the swing going, then he may switch to, he will be over the wicket. But if he doesn't, nowadays he is flexible enough to come round the wicket as well and slant it in. Because with that modification in his action, he's kind of lost that late swing in. He struggled in the past for that. But no better occasion than now to ensure he gets
It'll
that
be
mojo
interesting
back.
if it's Stark operating from one end and Lyon at the other. Those foot marks, if he's bowling over the wicket, then it becomes advantage for him if there are two right-handers at the crease for Lyon to be bowling in from the other end.
Yep. So GGK is saying Stark is not the best in England conditions. Boland, it's first time in England. If India openers do well, Oz under pressure, yeah, I mean, anybody who starts well, they can get their eye in, it'll be difficult to get them out.
Absolutely.
But it needs good proactive captaincy. That is the key thing. It can't be like what Rohit Sharma did in the case of Travis Head. The plan and the execution was too late to begin with. The horse had already bolted at that time. And you got 163. Maybe match defining 163 from Travis Head. So it is going to be Ronak Sinha is like saying Sidvi Shami is disappointed again. He again bowls just short of full length. He's done this so many years. We felt he was unlucky.
No, so actually, today, there were times where I did think he wasn't bowling as full as maybe he could have. But I think maybe the ploy was to go short. So.
Yep. Actually, that's the case it will be. So, I think what happened with Shami is that he wanted to ensure that he dried runs at one end up. Then Siraj would capitalize on it.
Right.
I think that happened. That's why I think he was just trying to maintain it stump to stump around that good length area. So,
I think key half an hour approaching now.
Always. In a test match, in a final, whenever it is on a key series, every session, that first half, that was close. That was. But again, look at the bounce. Hardly any.
It died. Yeah.
Hardly any.
Very two-faced. Because the first one actually did carry quite nicely. This one, on the other hand, not so much.
Yeah, but it is bouncing okay, but it is dying down. That means there is not much of pace. No pace on this deck. Which is why strong-shouldered Aussie bowlers like Cummins, Green and Cummins, they'll be the key. Strong shoulders. Remember how in Australia they operate on that hard length? That's the way they'll have to look forward now. So I feel Australia might just cross 450.
Yeah.
I see India batting in the second hour of the session.
Quite likely.
That seems to be my prediction. So 450 plus Australia are making, but they'll be all out, and India batting in the second hour of the session.
Correct.
So we'll be back then for the tea session that will start in the next 2 hours.
Yes, 2 hours.
2 hours. Yep, 7:40 will be the tea break. Or we could join even earlier for the innings.
About 10 minutes up top for the innings.
Yep.
Changeover.
Yep. Definitely. So we can join you earlier for that. So join us for that. Meanwhile, we'll have lots more updates from the world of sports, not just on the WTC, but on any other things that are happening in the world of sports.
Absolutely.
Badminton, there's a big development on boxing. Plus, you have a very important hockey game to look forward to today. India versus Argentina. So we'll be covering all that. So tap that bell icon. From me, Harshit, Gargi and Shane, it's bye-bye.